A new study in the Journal of Experimental Education is on board with student woes, too. The research found that too much homework can actually negatively affect the lives of high school kids. What's too much? More than 2 hours a night.
Which still seems like a lot to me, but I'll roll with it. The study explored thousands of California students from high-performing schools in middle-class communities. To give you an idea of one metric of student success, 93% of these students went on to either a 2- or a 4-year college.
The problem was that more than 2 hours of homework keeps these students from spending time with their families and friends, learning social skills, playing games, and doing extracurricular activities. Homework is cool and all, but you know what? So is being a teenager.
Totally. What are the greatest and most important things that I miss about being that age?
Okay. So, most of us grew up as a part of the American education system. I mean, even I did, and I grew up in China. So I think we can all relate to this problem of having too much homework. So let me tell you a little bit about my high school experience. I would get to school around 8 o'clock, and that would go until 3:20. I would then be in extracurriculars from 3:30 to 5:30. I'd usually get home around 6, and the rest of my family would arrive at the same time. We would sit down, we'd have dinner together. This would usually take until about 7, and by 8 I'd be starting my homework. Now at my school it was custom to get 30 to 45 minutes for every regular class, and an hour to an hour and a half for every honors or AP class. So this led to about 4 to 6 hours of homework a night. Now, according to the National Education Association guidelines, each night students should get about 10 minutes of homework based on their grade level. So first grade student should get 10 minutes, a second grade student should get 20 minutes, and so on from there. So as a senior, I should have been getting 120 minutes, or 2 hours. Yet somehow I was getting 4 to 6 hours every night. And this was not okay. Although homework does develop some great life skills like time management, responsibility, organization, it also takes away time for things like hobbies, family, and sleep. So today I'm going to tell you about how homework takes away our time for our hobbies, separates us from our family, and can cause sleep depression. And then I'm going to tell you about ways that we can fix this. So first, let's look at about how it affects hobbies. In a report called Homework Literary Review, Christy Blazer mentions that homework assignments limit time for other activities such as sports and community involvement. Now before high school, I was really involved in my school and really involved in my community. I took as many extracurriculars as I could. And then high school hit and my homework load went way up, and so I started dropping all of these extracurriculars because I figured, well, my GPA is more important because that's how I'm going to get into a good college, that's how I'm going to have a successful life. I was told that my GPA determined my worth, and so I quit everything I was in and gave up my happiness and increased my stress. And see, hobbies are there to relieve our stress. Studies have shown over and over and over again that sports and other creative activities can be a huge proponent of relieving stress. However, because so many students are led to believe that our grades are more important, we quit these activities. And this leads to no outlet for our stress, which can lead to a lot of harmful physical health issues such as headaches, muscle tension, and sleep deprivation. And as someone who has personally gone through this, I can tell you this will actually lower our school performance. So now that you know about how it affects hobbies, let's talk about how it affects our family lives. Families are extremely important in the development of teenagers and their mental health. According to Christy Blazer in Homework Literary Review, excessive homework often creates tension between parents and children because it takes away from family time. Before high school, I would sit down every single night with my family and have dinner with them. And this really brought our family closer because we could talk about our day, we could share stories, we could talk about any troubles we were having. And this is a daily occurrence. And then, of course, high school came and my homework went up, and one of the first things to go was family dinners because I figured, oh, I can eat in my room and do homework at the same time. And this really took me away from my parents and my brother, and I started becoming distant from them. And now I'm on the other side of the world from them, and so I really regret every moment I didn't spend with them. The Met Life survey of American teachers, which included a survey of over 500 parents, found that almost 30% agreed homework is a major source of stress and disagreement within their family. Being connected to your family during your high school years is so incredibly important because it's really the last years you have left to live with them. And when families don't get enough time together, this just causes more stress. And as I mentioned before, this can lead to physical health issues and will actually lower your school performance. So now you know about hobbies and families, so let's take a look at sleep. According to the Nationwide Children's Hospital, teenagers need around 9 hours of sleep, but they only average about 7. And I can tell you at my high school, I think we averaged about 6. Last night I got 4. So when homework goes up, the first thing to go seems to be sleep because we think, oh, we can get by with caffeine or I can make it up on the weekends. But sleep is crucial to teenage development during teenage years because lack of sleep can cause chronic sleep deprivation, which can lead to things like weight gain, confusion, increased blood pressure, and that's only a few. I mean, the list goes on and on. So now you know for sure that homework really is a problem. So how do we fix it? Well, first off, we need to encourage teachers to adhere to the guidelines that I had mentioned before. We need to stick to high school students not having more than 2 hours of homework every night. Although homework, like I said, can teach really important life skills like time management and organization and responsibility, these lessons can still be taught even with less homework. Or, for example, time management can be taught by longer projects throughout the year that people have to work on a little bit at a time rather than giving them an hour of homework every night. We also need to realize that teachers are not at fault. As a child of 2 high school teachers, I can tell you they're under a lot of pressure to put a certain amount of grades in the grade book. This leads to a lot of busy work being given out as homework. But really this is just because the teachers want to keep their jobs and get paid. Lastly, we need to realize that more is not better. Teachers need to learn how to give out effective homework rather than just giving out busy work. And they need to know that quality is far more important than quantity. So in conclusion, yes, homework does have its benefits, but we greatly need to reduce the amount of homework a high school student has every night. I mean, I don't think any of us would have complained about having less homework in high school. So it's time for us to reduce the amount of homework to 2 hours a night and give kids time to just be kids.